This is LMC Live for January 5th, 2024. And of course, in this live stream, we're going to talk about a little BlueSCSI stuff. Talk about what I've learned, at least, anyway. And we'll plug it into the back of this Mac and we'll get it fired up. But I'm just got to plug the iPhone that we're recording with in. At least so it'll charge. Don't want the camera to go dead in the middle of the live stream, right? So, considering how long have been into the classic computing PC, maybe Apple II, haven't really been in a Macintosh, and considering I was able to get this stack of Macs for not a whole hell of a lot of money, thought why not get into that a little bit too. And like the PC community has a modern solution for retro storage in the XT IDE, BlueSCSI is that version for SCSI equipped computers like the Macintosh, the Amiga, certain Ataris, etc. So, a couple of things that I've learned. For the BlueSCSI, whether you've got the external version or the internal version, which is still in its anti-static card, these require SD cards in order to, or micro SD cards, in order to save data. Now, the SD card has to be formatted with the exFAT file system, that's EXFAT file system. And one of the things that I found out is using one of the AI ChatGPT to ask questions about the BlueSCSI. The question that I asked it was, well, what file format does your SD card have to be formatted in? ChatGPT said NTFS, which is false. It needed to be an exFAT. So if you put your SD card in the BlueSCSI, there's no SD card size limit. So sky's the limit. If you can find yourself a 1 terabyte SD card, you could use that. Now, if the BlueSCSI does not find any hard disk images on the SD card, or it's not formatted in exFAT, the SD card will be treated as a single volume, which you end up losing a lot of the magic that the BlueSCSI can give you, because the BlueSCSI can emulate a SCSI attached network interface card over Wi-Fi. It will also emulate CD-ROM drives and hard disk drives using the images, and the hierarchy of how all that is set up on the SD card, well, you can't achieve that unless you format it in exFAT, and you can find more detailed information on the BlueSCSI website. Just Bing BlueSCSI. So let's go ahead and plug that in. We'll turn our monitor on and fire it up. And I'm going to sneeze. Excuse me. So if you're using the BlueSCSI on a Macintosh with a version of the system software macOS earlier than 7.5.1, you also need to download or install the Open Transport utility, so that once you get done installing the network card drivers, that you can actually connect to the network over TCP/IP. Sorry, sports fans, there's no IPX SPX here. Close some of this stuff. All right. So just going to adjust the camera so you get a little bit of a better view, maybe. Well, not that great. So the top of the screen, we have my first hard disk image LMC. It's an 8 gigabyte image. I think this is an alias for Stuff It Expander. We got an image for After Dark 4.0. This is the real physical Mac OS CD, and then another hard drive image, which is called BlueSCSI Bootstrap, which has the files to set up the internet enabling component of the BlueSCSI. But anyway, what I thought we could do is, in addition to other stuff, they give you some tools where you can upload files onto the SD card and then use this BlueSCSI SD transfer utility to download files that you put there. I don't know where it put that thing. Oh, put it right there. Isn't that neat? Okay. Let's drag that off of there. And another thing that it does is we also have what's called the CD changer, which will allow us to cycle through some ISOs that we can put on a folder on the SD card. And I've got a few in here we're going to tinker with during this live stream. We might even play a game of You Don't Know Jack. Because of the delay between the actual time I'm recording this and the time that you see it, I mean, it's not like a big delay. It's not like minutes, but it's long enough that would make playing a trivia game like that pretty difficult. But I think I might play it. The version of You Don't Know Jack the Ride is for adults only, or approved teenagers. Certainly not for children. So those are kind of the big things, and don't need this. Hi, Studio Cat. So one of the things, a quick segue here, the Studio Cats love to play with the plastic springs that you can get at the pet store. Drives them absolutely nuts. All right, so we don't have to do anything with this Wi-Fi DA stuff or fix a fork. What we are going to do is we're going to install some After Dark. I just want to quickly look. You Don't Know Jack. Oh, must be the first version. You Don't Know Jack. Hi, Studio Cat. Yeah. This includes. Go ahead. We're going to install it. Fine. Go ahead. Restart. Okay. Fine. Oh, I just saw some Star Trek in there. I think we're big Star Trek fans, those of us who are watching. No to what? So I guess we're going to go through you're going to install the software from all the ISO images that I've put on the BlueSCSI. A little bit of nostalgia for tonight. And then probably play some You Don't Know Jack, The Ride, and or After Dark games. And since I'm thinking about it, if anybody has a method in which to capture video coming out of the Macintosh 15 pin Apple connector. All right, let's restart. All right, let's check out some. All right, well, I don't. Let's open After Dark 4. I don't think. I might have just crashed that because it's not going to be able. Yep, real smart on my end. Might actually have to do a full power down in that regard. One piece of software I'm looking for is an older version of Micromat Tech Tools. I might just actually have to pop and get one off of eBay, because I like to, or find a version of Apple hardware test that will work on this Power Mac. Yes, I know that. Okay. Well, I really thought we saw some Star Trek in here. I thought I saw during the. Oh, okay. I must have misread something. Okay. I'll keep going through. Oh, I wonder who the twins. Oh, yes. Oh, my. Oh, yeah. Well, let's check out a couple more of these and we'll go on to the next CD. Nah. Oop, stop. Let's see. I'll leave it at... actually, no. Let's not clear the screen. Let's do it. That's cute. Okay. Close and quit. Actually, that might have actually stopped it from coming on, but that's okay. All right, so oh wow, we might actually be able to put our crescendo card in tonight. Maybe after we get all the other stuff done, since we've got to turn the machine off, right? Awesome. Okay. We'll put that in the trash. We'll put that in the trash too. And of course, one of the other things we need is no 8.5 tonight. Do the toolbox and switch. All right, after, just gonna look at some of the demos. Oh, head rush demo. So you don't know Jack demos. Okay, let's install After Dark games. Oh no, this software requires 7.5.5, which this system does not have installed. Anyway, all right. No, cancel. View by name. I got system.5.3. Really? Yeah. It's really gonna make me want 5.5? Don't have it on here. Well, you know what? We're gonna try to install After Dark games without it. Always waiting, waiting, waiting. Awesome. Well, it's supposed to be installed. Yeah, okay. We'll get it later. You know what, while we're waiting, let's go ahead and now that we can finally install that Sonnet G3 upgrade. Yep. Oh wow. February 7th, 2003. Well, that's unfortunate. Okay. Let's see. The Crescendo is not compatible with RAM doubler or virtual PC. Alright, continue. Oh, we're not going to restart because I need to turn the machine off to put this card in. So, shut down. Alright. Actually, I just need to look at something really quick here. Because of the width of this card, especially if I'm also going to be putting the PC compatibility card in here, I might just have to change where it lives, that's all. So we're going to put alright. See what happens. The G3 upgrade card has been installed. Uh-oh. No, oh, really? Okay. Well, I was reading the FAQ on the Sonnet page, and there was an issue where the computer might have got stuck at the Happy Face, the initial Happy Face Mac. And all right, that's looking for. Oh, look at that nice big bump of RAM, 256 megabytes of RAM now. But I'm looking for. There's no. Looking for the Sonnet software. did. So what the hell happened? Try it again. Maybe we'll have to use the find file feature and well, that's good. They're all the enablers. They got where they were supposed to go in the system folder, so I guess we're okay. Have to figure out, find the system profiling. Of course, this is an old version of the system profiler. Processor is unknown type. Okay, gonna need a newer version of the system profiler. Well, I guess it is installed. I mean, this thing is super snappy now. Okay, so let's go back to the toolbox. CD changer. So we uninstalled After Dark Games. Now we're going to install AppleWorks. If it'll let me. All right. So it's taking its sweet time to install. Here's some useless trivia that I discovered while I was waiting. So during the Apple II days, people who split off from the original AppleWorks for Apple II were working on a Macintosh version that ended up getting acquired by Microsoft, and they turned it into Microsoft Works for the Macintosh, and then eventually Apple came up with this, which has no The Mac version of AppleWorks has no history compatibility with the Apple II version of AppleWorks. No, I'm not going to restart, but I'll just see if I can launch it without restarting. Of course, it's going to make me do this, and I'm not going to do this right now. We'll go to our next CD. Office 98. Cool beans. To install Office, just copy this folder to your hard disk. Copy. And all right. Okay, so it's always going to make me register. Of course, I'm going to do that offline. Couple more CDs to go. Internet Explorer 4.5. Anything fun in that? Oh, well, might as well install the value pack. We got plenty of room on here. Look at how fast those files install. That's what we want. Not going to restart just quite yet. Only got one more CD to go through, and that's the Outlook CD. English. So this version of Outlook won't let me install it right here. We'll do that offline, but that would have been 15 floppy disks. Okay, let me copy it. Then I'll rename it. And we're going to shut this down so that I can put the 755 update on here. So we'll shut down, wiggle the SD card out of the BlueSCSI. Extract this to So as it finishes extracting, we'll put it back in the BlueSCSI and power the Macintosh back on. All right, I'm gonna rename this. Okay, and then we're going to eject the SD card and try to. I can always get the SD card out of the BlueSCSI while the BlueSCSI is plugged in. But it's so difficult for at least me to get it in that slot inside the BlueSCSI housing. Okay. I don't understand the question. Who needs the help, them or you? Ooh. That'll make you jump. Oh! The Mac installer for the Office add-on pack wasn't able to determine the correct help folder to install the files in. It needed the folder that was inside of the Office installation. Apparently, it wasn't intelligent enough to figure it out by itself. Okay, so don't need that anymore. Don't need that. Now we can. Um. All right, this is the System 755 updater. Really? The System 753 installer script does not recognize. Huh. Well, if that's the case, this is unfortunate then. Probably, but that would mean I'd have to reinstall everything. Apple Video Phone. Neat. Well, whoops, sorry, been there already. Wonder if. Could. I wonder if what the issue is that the system, this installer does not recognize the enabler for the Sonnet enabler for the Power PC upgrade card. That might be the case. Hoping that what I'm going to do is we're going to set the startup disk and see if it'll do it anyway. Might have to do 7.6. Ah, damn it. All right. So what this is gonna make me do is I'm gonna have to force it off. Really? Oh. Force the system off. Delete that ISO from my SD card. Somewhere I do, but if I can find it quickly, I will install it. And if not, we'll play our game of You Don't Know Jack. Let me get that off of there. All right. Okay. Do this again. What's definitely going to be a big pain in the rear end is when the Power Macintosh comes. If I'm going to use the internal version of this, it's not going to be very easy to get in there to install anything. Um, looks like I do have an ISO for it. Of course, I forgot to copy it onto the SD card, but that's all right. I'm looking at what time it is, and we've got just enough time, I think, to. Oh, actually, let's look at this. No, it doesn't have what I need or what I want. CD2 is the. Oh, this is a problem. Notice how the CD is not showing up. So let's do a full shutdown and power it back on. Oh, and it's not loading. We're not bringing up the first CD I want, but that's quite all right. Um, did not start off of the... That's what I want. Let's restart. I wonder if I could install this Crescendo card into a Power Macintosh 4400. I don't think so, but nothing, just don't want to tonight. Okay, I can finally get this out of here. We're done working with that. Oh, no, nothing. ISOs in here can be set as bootable devices. Here we go. Hopefully we don't get copyright dinged from YouTube for this. Just turn the volume up.
Welcome to the ride. I understand you're handy with the slow motion control. I'm afraid that won't do you much good down on the floor you're headed to. How many people will be playing? One? Well, let me be the first to congratulate you on winning this game. How many questions would you like to play? 7? 13? Okay, great. Type your name. Really? Is that right? Well, that's rather interesting. You have the same name as one of the Baldwin brothers. I need to remind you that your buzzer is the letter B. Well, that's all I have to say. Hope to see you at the bottom.
It's time for the show where high culture and pop culture collide. You Don't Know Jack is brought to you by the Backwards Christian Lyrics Coalition. You'll find a satanic reference in your children's music, whether it's there or not. And now, please welcome your host, Okay.
Okay, welcome. So, you let the kids watch the naughty cartoons, huh? Well, let's see how much we can slip past the censors. All right, practice saying the 7 naughty words, and let's take on censorship. Okay, buzz in and log on to the highest value you can. Hey, nothing to brag about. Okay, here's the category. Censorship, more like censorship. Here's the question. If today's censors had the same job duties as the first Roman censors, 41, 42, how does she do that?
That's disgusting. Don't look.
The original censors took census, which means they counted things, and they took a break to read the articles. Okay, here's your category. Keep your censorship off my private parts. You know, political correctness has gotten way out of hand. There's even a human muscle named the PC muscle. If you're having problems with your PC muscle, what's the best PC term to use in describing it? The urinarily challenged. Wow, looks like you're quite the cunning linguist. The PC muscle, or the pubococcygeal muscle, controls the flow of urine from the bladder and contributes to greater sexual pleasure in women without offending anyone at all.
Yeah.
Now select the highest value and see if you hit the jackpot. Coming up.
I think it just goes to show what could sell 20 years ago versus 30 years ago versus now.
Tie a blue ribbon around the old oak tree. What cause are you supporting? Freedom of religion?
L is for loser.
Whoops.
Here's the one you wanted.
Really?
Blue Ribbon Campaign is for free speech online. You should consider publishing photos of your oak tree on your homepage, because none of the online freaks will ever go outside to see it. Okay, select the value, but hey, can't be too disappointed with that. Here's your category. I'll wash your thesaurus out with soap. You know, this might be a good time to get on the other side of zero. Just a thought. Which of these is not a dirty word? Slatternly, abluted means washed clean. So it's not really dirty, unless you say something is being abluted. Alright, bang your buzzer. Are you sitting down? Well, of course you are. You're at a computer. At any rate... Well, wouldn't you know it? It's time to play Dis or Dat. And this Dis or Dat questions category is, I see no evil, but I can smell it a mile away. Okay, I'm going to list off 7 people, and for each one, I want you to tell me if they're someone who sees no evil, someone who hears no evil, or someone who neither sees nor hears evil. As each one comes up, if it's someone who just sees no evil, press 1. If it's someone who just hears no evil, press 2. Press 3 if it's both. If you're kind of clueless, hit 4. For each right answer, you get some cash. And you're going to lose some for each one you get wrong or that you don't get to. Okay, you got 30 seconds to nail all 7. And keep an eye on the wire. When it fills up, you're done. And here we go. Stevie Wonder sees no evil, hears no evil, or both. Marley Matlin. Helen Keller. Oedipus. Ray Charles. Ludwig van Beethoven. Well, who's Tommy? You only missed one, not too bad. Let's add your winnings to your total. That's what your current score looks like. Let's keep going. Alright, the category is Tipper Gore. And now the question. Say Tipper Gore treats her husband Al to a $50 dinner. If Tipper Gore's a good tipper, what is the smallest? $7.50? Yeah, that'd be the customary 15% tip. Which leaves her and Al just enough money to buy a few Two Live Crew albums to burn when they get home. Hit your buzzer to choose the... I like to call this category... I understand moral, but what's turpitude? You know that song by Ice-T called Cop... Hey, lady, you can't come in here. What are you... Hey, don't put... What are you... Ow! I'm covered in stickers. Here, look at this. Ow, my short hairs. Parental advisory, explicit lyrics. Who's going around slapping these stickers on everything? Good Tipper Gore and the Parents Music Resource Center campaign for the little warning labels on albums. And I have half a mind to take this sticker and shove it up to those mother goody, no good, have nothing better to do, dead, moral majority monkey suckers with a frozen boot. Now, there's an explicit warning. Alright, okay, give it up, Floor. You have the right to remain silent and minty. And right this way, please. What issue would Scope's monkey trial most likely involve? Slander of the healing power of mouthwash? Bootleg? The original Scopes monkey trial took place when enlightened Tennesseans jailed biology teacher John Scopes for teaching evolution. Apparently, creationists also believe that fresh breath is an act of God. Hey, buzz in to select the best. Hey, you can live on that. Here's your category. My fellow congressman, try the veal. Here we go. Considering the specific issue to which congressional gag rules pertain, which of these gag artists' acts would be censored? Rick Taylor organizing a union, Henny Youngman petitioning against slavery. It all started when a congressman from South Carolina stood up and proclaimed, "Take his freedom, please." Until they were deemed unconstitutional, gag rules in the House of Representatives prevented members from considering anti-slavery petitions. Could I interest you in some roadkill? Alright, let me tell you how this game works. You're going to see different pairs that are somehow related, and you're going to see a series of items that may or may not connect the pair. You gotta buzz in to select the item you think correctly joins the two. I'll give you a grand if you're correct, but beware, you lose 1,000 every time you're wrong. And at the end, there's gonna be a bonus question worth some bonus cash. Let's just say you should pay close attention to all the correct answers. You got that? Good, let's motor. An essay in a blank or plastic bag. What's the intersection between these two? Washington State and Blanky Blankpecker. Arizona Diamonds and Blankplayer's daughter. Cars use it and beats cause it. NHL team and go grease blank. Breast Michigan City and skin blank equals miser. Score. To coordinate in blank box cars. Score. Alright, let's go for the bonus. What do all the correct answers have in common? Are they all players starting? You nailed it! Rack it up! Everything I need by a bunch of books. Alright, there it is. Let's keep moving. Now select the highest value. Holy something! Here's your category. Comstocks and bondage. You ready? Let's go. If you don't put much stock in the Comstock law, what will you probably do? Stage pornographic performance art, take pornographic photos of yourself, publish pornographic photos on the internet, or mail porno mags to your buddies. I know, you only read them for the articles. Also known as the Federal Anti-Obscenity Act, the Comstock law bans the mailing of indecent materials. You know, it was just too distracting for the postal carriers. Alright, bang your buzzers. We're calling this one. Low prices every day. Let's get going. Where is Walmart headquartered? Murfreesboro, Bentonville, Arkansas. Yep, that'd be Bentonville, all right. Right there in Arkansas. Okay. Welcome to the Jack Attack. I'm going to be throwing a bunch of words up on the screen. Buzz in when you see two items on the screen that match. Each time you're right, you make money. Each time you're wrong, you lose it. Now here's the thing. Not any two items that go together are necessarily a match. It's gotta be a match that fits this clue. Sensory overload. And do not forget, the match has to fit the clue. Alright, here we go. Bam! 7 for 7! And against very stiff competition! Bring nature to your bathroom with
Twigs and leaves.
very natural toilet paper made of.
Twigs and leaves.
It's not post-consumer content. It's not recycled paper. It's not even paper. It's just
Twigs and leaves.
we collect from the forest of
America.
the natural.
Highly recommended. It's available multiple ways. You can still buy this. Jackbox Games apparently is the current IP holder for this. You can do a Bing search. Or if you want to run it on vintage machines, you can find the actual CD copy of this very inexpensively on that auction site. So we're not going to play another game tonight. We'll only quit. Come on. Cue. And hey, how very exciting. We're able to accomplish a lot tonight in this live stream. We've got a whole bunch of software installed on the Mac. We'll end up doing some things for the next live stream so they're ready for next time. And to think that, yeah, now we've got a lot of RAM in this machine. So I'm going to power off, going to end the stream. Thank you very much for watching. We'll make this, I'll change the stream settings from private to public so that you can go back and watch, particularly the part of You Don't Know Jack the Ride if you want. And see you next time. Have a great night, everybody.